Hi everybody. Today's topic, quadratic equations and factoring. On the test that you took, we did the beginning part of quadratics where you found the vertex and started to see that you could graph a parabola on the plane. We're going to now start to take these quadratics and solve for them. And to do that, we're going to have to use factoring, which you've been doing for a lot of years. And we're going to have this start two of the ways to factor for your homework for Thursday. All right, so a couple things first. For a quadratic, remember our standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c. Something x squared plus something x plus c. Something couldn't, there may not be one of these two things there. It may be just that, or it may be just that. And I'm going to show you an example of that soon enough. So, let's talk first before we get into factoring algebraically. What do you know from elementary and middle school? From back in the day, you guys learned back in second and third grade to multiply. And that 3 times 5 are the factors, and that when you multiply them together, you get 15. And that's considered a product. You also then learned at the same time to go in reverse. That to factor means here's the product, and then what are the factors, what times what will give us that product. So in this case, we take 20, and we can break it down to 4 times 5, 2 times 10, or 1 times 20. So product, factors. When we multiply, we take factors, and then we have product. So how do we do that algebraically? You guys learned in Algebra 1 that the concept of FOILing, which is multiplying, that we take this and we take this and we multiply it together to get a product. And that it's really just double distribution. It's this times both of these, this times both of those there. So, x times x is x squared. X times 3, 3x. 4 times x plus 4x, 4 times 3 is 12. These are common terms, so our answer becomes that. Okay? And you could write that as factors and product. Right there. So multiplying those together, we get a product. The next question then becomes, okay, well, if we have a product, how can we factor it? And so the other thing that we did, and I know you did in Algebra 1, was if you take a product, and I'm going to do a different one right now. I'm going to do x squared plus x minus 12. So there's our product. It's a polynomial. We want to know what times what will give us this. And the tool that I use to teach this, I don't know what your Algebra 1 teacher taught you, but we take this term right here, the one at the end, and we put it up at the top of this x. And then whatever term is right here, in this case it's 1x, so a 1 will go there. And then what you're learning is, the thought process is, what times what is negative 12, but added together is 1. What times what multiplied gives you this, added together is that. And in this case, 4 and negative 3. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. 4 plus negative 3 is 1. And so by doing that thinking process, we will then take those and say, okay, 4 is positive, the 3 is negative, x plus 4 times x plus 3. And that is the thinking strategy to factor that. Okay, if you FOIL this out, like here, you would end up getting that. It's slightly different than this. It's got the 12 here, but it's got a different one here, and that's why the factors are a little different. Okay, so there's our factoring for something like that. Using this tool right here, what times what gives you the end, and then the middle coefficient goes right there. Okay, so that is one way that we can factor. Now, what happens if we do this? What happens if we have and I want to solve for 0. Sorry, I want to solve for x when this equals 0. I want to know what x equals. What we have to do is a 3-step process. One is factor. So we have to factor this. And by doing the x strategy, what times what is negative 15 but added together is positive 2. Negative 5 and 3. So our factors are x minus 5 times x plus 3. And this times this equals 0. So I've just taken this and broken it down. It's no different than this, it's just written differently. And it's in factored form. Next I'm going to do what's called zero product. Zero product means this. You did this in Algebra 1 too. If x times y equals 0, either x is 0 or y is 0. One of the two of them are 0. So that means we take these, we set them equal to 0 to get our answer. So x minus 5 equals 0, x plus 3 equals 0. That's setting it up equal to 0 product. And step 3 is to solve for both. So, plus 5, x equals 5, minus 3, x equals negative 3. And if you substitute this in for x, you will get 0. If you substitute this in for x, you will get 0. Meaning there are two answers to this quadratic equation, and here are the two answers. Okay? So, that is how to solve a quadratic equation by factoring using this strategy. I'm going to see if I can get one more little short strategy for you right now. X squared plus 3x equals 0. Solve for x. Step 1, factor. This isn't like, it's not in standard form, so you can't use that x strategy. This is okay, I got a minute left. I am going to show you factoring by GCF, greatest common factor. What goes into both of these? X. X times x, and then 3 times x. So we take the x out. What is left? X plus 3. We've factored this binomial to be the two factors, this times this. So we've done this. Now we are going to do zero product. So x equals 0, x plus 3 equals 0, x equals negative 3, x equals 0. So there's our two answers for this. So our important piece to this are when we factor, I've done the GCF strategy with you.